partners.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdul Malik Ahmed from Native Deen and Deen TV. I am here with a very special guest, Brother Ali from the Firdaus Ensemble. How are you doing, brother? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Very happy and honored to be here.
Alhamdulillah.
With fellow artists,
Alhamdulillah.
distinguished guests.
Thank you, thank you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. First off, I was blessed to hear you here at RIS.
لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليكم
Blessed to hear you at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. I was in the audience there.
اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد حبيبنا محمد اللهم صل اللهم صل على المصطفى الله أكبر اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه الله.
Beautiful performance. I think at that point you had 7, right?
That's true.
This time you had 5.
Yeah.
I was, amazed at the, the talent that you have and your whole group have. You are an amazing artist where you are able to sing, you are able to play an instrument, and also captivate a crowd. So tell me a little bit about you and how you started the group.
Yeah. Well, as a musician, it goes back to the day when I was 7 years old. I learned to play the violin. An uncle, a friend of my father's, gifted me a violin. So that was the instrument that I began with.
Okay.
And very much it was classical violin, Western classical music.
Yeah.
And and then at the age of 14, I became Muslim and then kind of fell in love with the Holy Quran, the recitation of the Quran. That was, musically for me, it was kind of the highest musical form. And so, yeah, and I went to music college, and that was where I came in contact with the resistance against, kind of halal haram.
Yes, yes.
And you should give up music, it's just haram. So I actually gave up music and pursued my studies in Arabic and Islamic studies in Damascus. So I went to Damascus. But in Damascus is where I kind of discovered singing, in the Zawi, the nasheeds.
Yeah.
So that's so I came back to music through the voice.
Through the voice. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And through kind of orally. And then when I came back to Europe, actually I moved to Spain. My wife's Spanish. So
okay.
After many years in Syria, like 9 years in Syria, and settled in Granada. Okay, so that was an important turning point. There I met other musicians, Muslim musicians, who wanting to express spirituality through music.
Yeah.
And so we kind of formed a band.
Okay.
That was back in 2006, 7. And that's what led to Al-Firdaus. We first had another band, and that broke up, and then we regrouped, as it were, in 2012, and that's when we founded the Al-Firdaus Ensemble. And Yeah, with the and we expand and we contract and
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
That's the nature of bands, right?
Yeah, we actually also have a female member. You saw her.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Salma, she plays the cello.
Yeah.
But they said, you know, lots of conservative people here, so maybe we just keep it male only and stuff. So you know, so we did. But yes, we have a balance of instruments and also the musicians. We have 2 Moroccans, one great singer and percussionist, and then we have one qanun player. And qanun is a very important instrument.
Yeah.
And it's kind of has a huge register,
Right.
Several octaves. So it's kind of very basic in the band. You know,
It's just was the string
exactly.
instrument. It's the string
It's
instrument.
the harp, and it's actually the great grandfather piano.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because the piano has a lot of.
Yeah, if you look inside the piano, it looks like
I've
a
seen
qanun.
that. Yeah, similar. Wow.
So you go from the piano, you go to the harpsichord before the piano you have the harpsichord, which is mechanically plucked. The strings are mechanically plucked.
Right.
So it's a kind of development
of the piano.
the qanun, but the qanun is Persian.
Oh, it's Persian. Oh.
It's an ancient Persian instrument, but then became
popular. So you have a variety of musical instruments. You guys are in Spain, and
We're based in Granada, yeah.
You're based in Granada.
Yeah.
Do you guys all live like close by each other, or you guys have to kind of?
No, 3 of us live in Granada.
Okay.
Actually, some of the, like, should we say, musicians, not the core members, but the people we collaborate when there's budget, you know.
Right.
We expand, you know.
Yeah.
We have a flamenco guitarist, and we have this flute player who also plays the Irish pipes, you know, the Celtic element, which is very strong with our group. You heard that, you know.
Yes, I was going to.
So we have 5 musicians in Granada, but Omar is living in Casablanca.
Oh,
although he was in Granada. But he went back to Casablanca, and then our cellist lives in Elche, which is about 4 hours from Granada.
Okay.
But we come together, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Similar to like our group, we have people from all over we coming, but when you get together, you perform, you have fun, you enjoy, and one of the things that I notice is that you have a lot of songs in praise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you using traditional. I don't want to say nasheeds, but basically the traditional songs, nasheed, I guess.
Rearranged,
reloaded, remixed, with a very, some of it obviously has an Irish flavor. Tell us a little bit about that inspiration.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have Celtic blood, you know, actually more Scottish than Irish, but you know, and. So I started playing. I had a real attraction to Irish songs, you know, like we'd say fiddle songs, you know. I learned these songs on the violin, and then this repertoire of melodies. I actually adapted to salawat. So a lot of our salawat songs, they come from Irish jig or reel and Irish tunes.
Yeah.
And then we adapted them to have to praise the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And kind of that's very much our identity. We also have Morisco songs, you know.
Yes. Okay. For those who don't know what Morisco, how would you explain that?
Yeah. So the Moriscos are the Muslims who were forced to become Christian, and they remained in Spain, and they kept their deen in secret. You know, they were persecuted. You know, they had to. And they wrote in this language, which is like old Spanish, called Al-Jamiado, written in Arabic, and they wrote these songs of praise from the Prophet. We don't know how they sang them.
Right.
But they discovered these manuscripts after the Moriscos were expelled, and this is the first case of ethnic cleansing, because a lot of these Moriscos were genuinely Christians. But they were feared because their roots were Muslim.
Right.
So they were expelled, along with the others who were actually
Muslim, yeah.
secret Muslims.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the big tragedy, and it was a great blow to the Spanish economy.
Yeah.
Because the Moriscos had so much of the knowledge of agriculture, irrigation, and other crafts, and that so that's very much the revival of that legacy is an important part of our music. You know?
I think one of the beautiful things is that how you are able to combine so many different cultures, so many different musical traditions into something beautiful. So I think that's amazing.
That we look for and there are always bridges between these different traditions. They say the Moroccan travelers they went to Ireland, so there's and there's a real connection there between Morocco and Ireland, and so. And you have Africa, so you have these modes, which like the African mode, pentatonic, and Celtic mode, and they go together nicely. It's like, and then of course another aspect, which of course we don't have our flamenco guitarist, so it doesn't come out. We can't kind of sample that here, but there's a real connection between flamenco and the Andalusian tradition. And we also have, on our albums several, collaborations with flamenco artists, in which we bring out this influence.
It's a beautiful influence.
Yeah.
Well, I treasure that, and I think that's something that we hope to see in more artists. Where we are combining different traditions. What would you say? I guess what is the future for you, for the group? I mean, you've been to the United States, you've been to Canada. I'm sure you've been quite many places all around the world. What do you see for the future for your group?
Yeah, I mean, we want to try and engage more young people in this kind of traditional music, this enriching music. So doing more workshops, very important. Workshops and maqams, rhythms.
Yes.
We have done some. That's an important project to develop that.
Sure.
The whole transmission, because this is a tradition that needs to be transmitted. We have such a rich tradition. And it's contemporary, but it's rooted, and it's very important. It's rooted in a timeless tradition. These modes. Are so enriching. They connect you with, it's like Islamic art. It's like, it connects you with the eternal. These the maqams,
Beautiful.
So definitely that's one project, and also we want to do more dawah. We want to kind of expand our audience, because still our audience is mainly Muslim, but whenever we have non-Muslim audiences, they really connect.
They do, and I saw that firsthand at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a kind of priority, is to kind of expand our audience and get maybe more mainstream in terms of festivals, and to connect. But people need it, people are thirsty. But this is light. This is a source of nourishment for the souls. These very difficult times, obviously. And so now, this is not a time for celebration, but it's a time
for reflection,
for reflection, for healing, for awakening. So it's a very trying time. It's very a lot of trauma. Especially with what's going on in Gaza, but there's of course we know that behind the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a great mercy and wisdom, and so many people are being awakened to the fact that the big lie, the facade of
what's going on,
facade and truth, truth. This is, as the verse in the Quran, it says, وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. When the truth appears, then falsehood vanishes. And we're seeing this. Falsehood is crumbling. And alhamdulillah, and the haqq is
coming through.
And the people of haqq are are being manifest. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this interview, and we hope that we wish you the best.
It's an honor.
And we hope to see you more often in the United States, and hopefully connect with our young people. We got a lot of young people out in the United States waiting for some beautiful inspiration from your group.
We're waiting for any opportunity that happens.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This Deen TV video was made possible in part by Islamic Relief USA, working together for a better world, by Guidance Residential, Modern Finance, Timeless Values, and by Recycled Processes Incorporated.